Alright, so I wasn't going to do a garden update because the neighbor's out talking on the phone and everything, but I wanted to do this now. It's the quietest day without any wind and everything, and it is June 21st or 22nd. It's Tuesday. I think it might be the 21st. So what I'm just going to show you real briefly is what's going on. The last video I shot, I think, was June 12th, and I never uploaded it yet. And then I think I shot June 19th. No, maybe June 12th was the last one, maybe the 15th, I don't know. But I didn't upload it. Anyway, it's at least a week and a half, 2 weeks from that time almost. I know it was June 12th. Anyway, I just noticed yesterday and even today that the mole from last year is back. He caused damage for 2 to 3 weeks last year, but not so much. But this year, oh man, I don't know if he grew bigger. He was only about like that big, you know, like can fit in between, you know, my fingers in that circle area. He was small. He popped his head out of the ground one time with a long skinny nose, and I went to touch him and he squeaked. But he must be big because it looks bigger than last year. I don't know, unless he's just closer to the surface. But let me show you the damage. Anyway, these are the mini carnations. They're awesome and beautiful. Different colors. So over here, this is almost the same path as last year. So last year I noticed him, he started in here, and there he is again. I almost fell in the hole that he made. So if you can sort of see to the right of the round circle, or to the top of the round circle, the cracks in the ground and stuff. So he goes, it kind of just appears like right over here. Oh, actually I see it goes behind there. So somewhere around there, it starts all the time, and he comes in here. He doesn't seem to pull any plants down or kill any plants. He just loves to make tunnels, and it ruins everything. So then it goes over that way, but it disappears, and then it comes over here. It goes straight underneath this. So I'm gonna probably lose most of these like last year because the ground is poked up. Watch, let's see if I can do it. Yeah, my finger goes right through the ground. It goes right into like a hole. The whole thing is a hole now. So all these things might not make it this year. And then you can see the cracks in the ground. I stepped on this over here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Now it's weird because it doesn't seem to go. It's just right above the ground in there. Now check this out. All that grass that's raised. So he wrecked into here too. This is one little thing too. And I'm not going to get traps or anything like that or try to relocate him. I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do. I don't know. It looks like he went under here and over here, and then look at all that. Look at all that raised ground there. And then whatever reason he stops and he goes back, and now he's gonna go this way. Hey, look at, he saved me a little bit. He went this way and then that way, so he saved that plant thing. Thank you, mole. And then he goes that way. Let's see. I mean, hopefully he didn't destroy these. It took a whole year for them to grow, and I can tell that not because of the sun, because these things can be in the full sun. Yeah, they can live in full sun 24 hours a day, these snapdragons, and they barely need any water. So the fact that I see them drooping and look like they're dying tells me that he uprooted them and they're not clutching onto the ground. And I can see in here is also like that. Yep, made a hole in there. So I might have lost this as well. Oh boy. So then over here, he comes back over here, right in there. And he went right along the side of the bricks, and then he decided to go and rip up my I don't know, radishes and what did I put in here? Radishes are here, so he ripped up sage and oregano that was going to start and everything in there. And then it just kind of goes along the wall there. And as you can see here, the melons and everything are starting to grow. I got to get some water on them now. It's about 85, and it's going to be 95 the rest of the week. So he goes over here. I can step in here now. And he goes all the way where the frog is. If you can see like a hill in there. He uprooted all those cosmos and wildflowers, went underneath the loop line, destroyed this thing. This is cool because, well, it's gone now. But it was an orange type of poppy, and it kind of folds up at night and then comes back out in the sun. But as you can see here, how raised it is, he raised this whole thing. He raised the whole thing. All these sunflowers now, I checked them over there. They're probably going to be dead. I'm going to try to pack them in and water it and soak it. But he uprooted that. See, next to the sidewalk too? He uprooted it like 4 inches. And then he uprooted all this. And it's not like in cartoons. Remember they would used to like show moles in cartoons and they like pull the roots down and eat them? He doesn't do that. He just makes giant tunnels and then everything rots and doesn't have anything to grip onto. So for the most part over here, everything was good, like Brussels sprouts, eggplant, lettuces and cucumbers, same thing over there, and then tomatoes. But came along this wall here. I don't know what this cool flower is that was going to be, but he just uprooted this today because it wasn't like that last night, and he did this today. All these gorgeous tomatoes and everything are probably not going to work now. He made a giant hill, pushed them up about 2 inches, maybe 3 inches, and they're just babies, so that kind of stinks. But I do have a few more in here, so we'll see what happens. Last year he destroyed this whole thing in here, but this time he went around the edge and he went all the way there. If you can see all that, that is all his stuff. Boom, 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 all the way to here, all the way to here. Now look at how nasty he got. Look how big that came up there. Let's see if I could. Yeah, so it's not really a hole. Let me see if I can show you. So my finger goes into about 4 inches deep, but then it goes in this way, so I can't see my finger. But so it goes down about 3 inches, 4 inches, and then I can see the hole. So watch. Ooh. Now if he comes crawling through here, I'll be able to see him. But anyway, he ripped all this up, and then it kind of goes into a circle area, and then it stops. And then from there down, he left alone. So that stinks because I have all those massive sunflowers I was trying to grow over there, and the wildflowers, so I don't think they're gonna go this year on that side. Bummer. But I do have some over here, and here you can see all the snapdragons that are growing. This little guy here, oh, I fell in a hole. This little guy here with the butterfly finally came back because the landscaper took it down with a weed whacker. I said no. So that's coming back. So these should be bigger. That bush is usually about twice the size, but he cut half of it at the top. I told him don't do any of the stuff inside the rocks. And those guys grew a little bit bigger than they were last year. Over here, a lot of awesome stuff is happening. No mole so far on this side. And I'm hoping the camera focuses because I can't really see anything with the sun glare. But this snapdragon here, the yellow one, it wasn't even there yet last year. It was like a tiny little thing, like that big with like one flower. Now it's about 1.5 feet tall and doing well. And same thing with the yellows in the back. And then these sunflowers will come up in here. Hollyhocks, gladiolus, lots of wildflowers, cosmos, the poppy right there, that big red poppy. These guys got bigger. They're about double the size from last year. So that's awesome. And it's got the orange and yellow one coming up on the side with the yellow, the white, and then now yellow's coming up over there. So that's cool. Hopefully there'll be delphinium back there along with those little violas. I planted wildflowers and stuff in the back and poppies. And let's see if my camera can focus here real quick. I wanted to get this in the last few days because I knew it would die fast because they don't last, the poppies. But it kind of was windy and then a little drizzly and then windy and people were out here loud as heck. So I kind of missed it. In the previous video, you'll see these two guys. I'm going to deadhead and look into deadheading these so they grow back. So this is blanket flower, and they were huge compared to this. They were like double the size of these, but you can see how beautiful they are. And so they were blooming, and then you see the dead poppies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. The guy in the back. There was probably about 6 or 7 of them throughout here, maybe like 3 over there and 4 or 5 over here. And it looks so awesome because they were way up high in the air. Matter of fact, this bush is so big and so heavy, this poppy, that it keeps falling over in the wind. This is one giant poppy bush. I'm gonna have to stake this. Now you see all of them that are gonna ready to go, those balls that are hanging over, they'll flip up and turn into these awesome things. So too bad I couldn't get down here about 2-3 days ago. It was just too windy, too loud, too everything. But hopefully I'll clip these because the poppies will grow back. I'll clip them, and then when that next round of like, Jesus, might be like 10 or 12 there, and the blanket flowers that are keep blooming, I'll get them all there so you can kind of see them. And I know you can clip blanket flowers and deadhead them. Although they said the same about the lupine on the internet, or lupin, whatever they're called. That would be that tall stalk in the back. If you saw them, they were purple and white and tall. So I'm letting the front one pod, and I clipped all the other ones because they said they'll grow a second round of flowers, but it isn't. Now when I do it with the snapdragons, like I'll clip those flowers. Let me see if I can show you one. So you know if you have them, you can do it yourself. So let's see, anywhere up front. All right, so these things right here fell off the flowers. Those little things, you just pinch them or use a scissor and you just pull them off. That way they won't pod, and now it will grow a new leaf and a new flower within a few days. They said the lupine were supposed to do the same thing, but it hasn't. And then briefly over here, this giant, massive is a flowering parsley plant now. But if you can see down there, it just grew from the winter time. It's hard to see maybe, but anything you see like parsley, like it goes way out, way underneath. I gotta clip some and then clip some, but it's just a ton. And I'm gonna let it flower out because that would be cool. I never seen it. Then I noticed these snapdragons down here are growing real tall. They're about 2.5 feet tall. Looks like some orange ones. I gotta clip the poppies so they'll grow back. You can clip almost everything and they'll grow back. And then that's so beautiful. And then over here, I got these bluish, purpley forget-me-nots. The pink ones, if you can see them in the back, I'm not sure because I can't see. So I'll show you these guys here. These reseeded their whole selves. They reseeded themselves, and I don't know what they are, but they're really cool and awesome. And then that snapdragon's really cool. And this funky guy in the back, I don't know what it is. It might be from last year that never grew, and it might be a new one from this year. But it almost looks like a sage plant, but I didn't plant anything like that over here. So I'm not sure what it is. And let's see if I can get out of the way. You can see, I'm gonna hold this to camera there, the little white pom-pom ball things. They came back on their own this year. And then all these guys. And this is that hollyhock bush, which looks like it's gonna put out a couple flowers. Looks like 3 or 4 right here. Oh, look at that cool spider. And again, if my camera doesn't focus, sorry, I can barely see anything. And then that's gonna put out a few. This is way bigger and stronger than it was last year, this wonderful one. And when those grow, you're gonna see how beautiful they are, because they're not like anything else in the garden. They sort of have a papery feel and look to them like this, but they open like this does, but more like a trumpet, and then it goes out. It's awesome. Last year they were peach and white, and then one was pink. And real quickly over here, that one, so there's the hollyhock again, and then go straight back. That one there is another forget-me-nots, those bluish purple little tiny guys. But look at that plant. Look how healthy and many stalks and how thick and everything is. So that's going to be really cool. Excellent there. So everything was going good, but now the mole is doing its thing. And it's a mountain view. The weather is finally back to like 85 to 95, which should have been like that since June 1st. But April and May were like really bizarre, cold, rainy, 70, cold, rainy, snow, 65, 70, cold, rainy, snow. Man, it's been weird. But there's the mountain. So look at these sunflowers. Now I have a mix, the 8 to 12 foot tall, massive Russian ones, the orange velvet, the mini sunflowers, and then the, what's it called, the regular sunflowers. And they all be like anywhere between 3 and 6 feet tall, but the massive Russian ones can be up to 12 feet tall with like a foot radius, I guess you would call it, or circumference. Yeah, radius, right? Was radius half or diameter? Blah, blah, blah. I was great at math, but, you know, I gave all that math stuff up years ago. I was the mathematician in my family, actually. So anyway, they'd be like the size of a dinner plate. And let's see. So I put them on the corners. I put them down the middle, and then they're overcoming the snapdragons. But once they get bigger, the snapdragons down here are great. These sunflowers, the massive ones, I think can reseed themselves. The other kind are weird. You plant them as a sunflower seed, but when they grow, they don't have the same sunflower seed that you plant. They're like these thin, strange-looking things. I guess they were modified. I'm not sure. Really bizarre. But the massive ones will reseed, and you can eat them as well, so that's cool. And then these snapdragons will come back on their own. And then these are all like wildflower type things that are growing in between. And for whatever reason out here, they're growing massively awesome out here. And I put this here for the entrance and leaving and coming and going, so everybody can see this stuff when they come and go. And over here too, and I staked these things. I didn't say it, but you might have saw some of these green stakes coming out of the ground. I had to stake some of them. If you notice the sunflowers out here, everything that you see here is also where I showed you in the beginning. But for whatever reason, these sunflowers are growing really thick. They started like this, short to the ground, tons of leaves, and really thick. But the ones by the house, they did it last year and they're doing it again this year. They're really, really skinny. They grow tall and then start a few leaves. Like they'll come up with like 2 leaves, 3 leaves. Then they'll get to about 4 to 5, 6 inches tall, and they're just so skinny. They're like probably a quarter the size, half the size of that. So they're probably as skinny as the green fake stake that I have in the ground. I am not sure why they're doing that there, and out here they're growing so thick and awesome. I don't know. See, this one's another good example. So that one came up a little bit later, and you can see how thick and everything in the leaves. And here's one that's a little bit ahead of it, and then here's like the big guy. But anyway, it's really nice looking and should look really cool once it gets going, coming in and out of the parking lot. I'll just get you a view over here where I'm out of the sun and can show you before I show you the other side. So this is what it looks like from a wider perspective. It's really awesome. A lot of the flowers, like the blanket flowers, are facing upwards, so it's hard to get a look at them. And then you can see over there. And again, this is really cool because the things that need to catch up, like all the little guys planted this year, the big ones that you see, even the poppies and the blanket flowers and the snapdragons, I clip and they'll keep growing flowers. So they'll stay their size and full until the other ones catch up. Then it will look really awesome. And so you can see like that. So over here, this side gets pretty much only about, well, this gets the less sun. And then as you go over to that side and down, it gets 3-4 hours in the morning, say like 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock maybe. Then it starts to fade. And then when you get like, it's 6 o'clock now, so as the sun comes over and starts setting, it will get a brief hit of sun. But it's took a while to come up. And again, it's like a wildflower mix and stuff. And then over here, these are doing all right. The sprinkler kind of keeps them a little bit too wet, but they're starting to go a little bit more because of the heat's kicking up again, even if there's no sun. So here's an example here where I catch up on this, because if not, they'll pod and then they won't grow any flowers. So see, these are new flowers coming because I clipped these things off. Oh, there's a stick bug. Check it out. Looks like it. Yeah, it looks like some kind of stick type bug. If it's not a stick bug, it's an assassin type bug. My camera's not really focusing that well. Anyway, so I got to catch up on that. Over here, these delphinium didn't do all, excuse me, not delphinium, lupine. They didn't do all that well. Kind of ratty, like kind of like thin, and maybe because they didn't have a lot of sun and the sprinkler hit them too much with the water. But they kind of like didn't grow big and full. But they're still doing their best, I guess. So they're nice and full as far as a plant, but not as a flower. And show you what it looks like from this direct angle. You can see the colors and stuff. It's awesome to see those blanket flowers this year. What a difference with the blanket flowers to come up as big and beautiful as they are, and as many, to add that yellow and orange and brown to the mix of red, white, and yellows of the solid kind of plants and flowers. So that's really cool. And once her stuff gets growing with the snapdragons down there, the wildflowers, and then in front I have some massive sunflowers going to grow, and on the side there as well. And on all along the rim of the house there's sunflowers, so they should be, hopefully, I'll show you how big they got when I'm done over here, but maybe in the next 2 to 4 weeks they should be pretty high. They should be around 3 to 4 feet high, and by the end of July, beginning of August, they should be pretty close to that 5 to 6 foot range, as you see how fast they're growing. So over here, the snapdragon that got crushed by the kids isn't really coming back that great. Some of the wildflowers are coming up, but as you can see, there's hardly any of them. And I don't know if it's the area or the sprinkler that keeps it too wet or what. The gladiolus didn't show up on this side, but it showed up over here, and it showed up 2 to 3 of them. Actually, it looks like there's a few of them down in there, and then these guys, so that's cool. And this guy got beat up by the wind, so I had to stake it, and then kids, stuff and everything. And that's the pod. So these will be filled, they'll turn brown, and they'll be filled with seeds for itself. And I'll reseed it in here, and then I'll keep the seeds for myself and anybody that wants them. And then this is my favorite view. When you stand in here for some reason, compared to the angle there or to the straight on view, when you stand right here and you get closer, it just got such a great look. You can kind of see everything and all the colors blending in. It's really awesome. Anyway, the mole's kind of a pain in the butt because it's taking out mostly where all the food is that I want to grow for everyone. So that's a bummer. Now I'll show you over here real quickly as this video is getting kind of long. If it ends by chance, because I never uploaded. Love you guys back home and everybody. So you see how skinny that is? I mean, look at how tall it is compared to the guys out there. And they were all planted at the same time, maybe within a week of each other. And so I don't know if you can see that because of the shadow in my hat and the shade. But that is skinnier than the stake that's holding it up. And it's bizarre because the ones out there have grown so well. And you saw the hollyhock out. You saw the hollyhock, how I showed you how beautiful it was, and how big it got this year compared to this guy. This one was a big one last year. Probably, yeah, actually this one was bigger than the other one, but this year they reversed, and this one's small and the other one's huge. So, alright, well that's it. More and more. I guess that's a decent update. I'll send some pictures too back home, because the pictures probably come out a lot nicer than the video maybe sometimes. Although when I take pictures you don't see all what you see on the video, so it's best to try to watch both if you can. Alright, so came out full, came out awesome, and now I just got to deal with mole. Alright, love yous, bye.